Tonight, an astounding new audio recording from Pastor John Hagee, the controversial evangelical leader whose endorsement John McCain sought and still says he's happy to have. Yes, you may know he's called the Catholic Church the Great Whore and claimed God sent Hurricane Katrina as punishment for a New Orleans gay pride parade. But the newly discovered comments may top them all. In sermons from the 1990s revealed today, Hagee claims Hitler was doing God's work and that the Holocaust was just Hitler's way of fulfilling God's will.
God says in Jeremiah 16, "Behold, I will bring them, the Jewish people, again into their land that I gave unto their fathers." That would be Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. "Behold, I will send for many fishers, and after will I send for many hunters. And they, the hunters, shall hunt them." That will be the Jews. "From every mountain and from every hill and from out of the holes of the rocks." Then God sent a hunter. A hunter is someone who comes with a gun and he forces you. Hitler was a hunter. How did it happen? Because God allowed it to happen. Why did it happen? Because God said, my top priority for the Jewish people is to get them to come back to the land of Israel.
McCain has condemned many of Hagee's offensive remarks, but just last month he told ABC News he's still glad to have his endorsement, partly because he admires Hagee's advocacy for the state of Israel. The questions tonight: shouldn't John McCain finally say enough is enough and renounce Hagee's endorsement? And why isn't much of the mainstream media playing John Hagee's clips even a fraction of the amount that they played Jeremiah Wright's clips? Still with us is Roy Seekoff from the Huffington Post, former Mitt Romney press secretary Kevin Madden, and Reed Dickens, former assistant press secretary for President Bush. Thanks to all of you for coming back. We appreciate it. All right, Kevin, let me start with you. First on this issue, doesn't McCain have to say now, I don't want this guy's endorsement?
Well, I think I'm not in the process of giving any advice to the McCain campaign, but I expect that exact question will be posed to the campaign,
What's
and he'll
the
have
answer?
to make a choice.
Let's say you're the one they're asking. What do they do?
I think he will do what he has done, which has been he'll be very swift and very decisive and very emphatic in his denunciation of those remarks and any association with those remarks.
But I mean, I don't know. It seems. I mean, Reed, doesn't he have to go further now? Doesn't he have to say, I don't want this guy's endorsement? I just can't be associated with him in any way?
Well, Dan, there's a couple things at play here. Let's back up for a second. Built into this whole conversation about Hagee is a very flawed premise. And the premise is that something Hagee says is on equal footing or some great equalizer or some gotcha moment. Some young researcher probably dug this up and is proud of himself, as if it's on equal footing with Jeremiah Wright.
No,
the problem with
you haven't heard that one bit, Roy. Reed, that's a faulty premise. I said if
they just want to bring the conversation back to Wright.
Roy, wait. What I said in the introduction, Reed, and I'll let you finish. I'll let you respond. But what I said in the introduction was even a fraction of the amount as Jeremiah Wright. So let's focus. Let's try to keep the focus on Hagee. I know you want to talk about Wright, but let's talk about Hagee.
I wasn't going to talk about Wright. I was only going to say the problem is here. McCain doesn't understand the evangelical. Not only did I work on 2 presidential campaigns, my dad's a pastor, I grew up in this world. McCain doesn't understand the evangelical world enough to know which evangelicals to go after. This wasn't a good guy to seek his endorsement. He doesn't have a big following, and anyone who's read any of his materials knows that this is his theology, and it is controversial. So I think there's a couple problems here. One, this is not an equal situation because this is not his mentor and his personal friend, and 2, because this was not a good political move for McCain to seek this person's endorsement, and yes, it's going to cause him headaches. That's what I was trying to say.
But he sought it for a year.
Hang on one sec, Roy. So Reed, what does he do now? I mean, doesn't he have to come out and say, I don't want to have anything to do with this guy?
Absolutely, he has. Look, this is going to haunt him as we're discussing right now. This kind of conversation is going to go on until he completely rejects, or whatever the right word is, everything that Reverend Hagee said. This is just a reality in the YouTube world we're playing in right now. Of course, he's got to denounce it.
Roy, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I mean, this is a key thing, Dan, here. It is a complete double standard. For some reason, the media remains enraptured to John McCain, the maverick, straight talker of 2000. But that's not what we're seeing. I mean, could there be a greater example of an agent of intolerance than this guy Hagee? I mean, this is an outrageous statement that he made. And what they never say is McCain says how much he likes his Israel policy. But don't forget, the reason they want Israel to be intact is so that's where Armageddon is going to happen, and all the Jews are going to be incinerated and sent to hell forever. That's why why they want there to be, you know, it's the end time story. So it's kind of remarkable that he appreciates his Israel policy.
Well, Kevin, let me play this piece of sound. This is McCain talking with George Stephanopoulos about the Hagee endorsement.
Your own campaign acknowledged that you should have done a better job of vetting Pastor Hagee.
Oh, sure.
So was it a mistake to solicit and accept his endorsement?
Oh, probably, sure. But I admire and respect Dr. Hagee's leadership of his church. I admire and appreciate his advocacy for the state of Israel, the independence and freedom of the state of Israel. So
you no longer want his endorsement?
Many things. I'm glad to have his endorsement.
I mean, Kevin, at this point, I can't imagine many Americans who support Israel want that. I mean, let's even just say Jews for a minute, who support Israel are going to really want that kind of support.
Well, this goes exactly to Reed's point, which is that, this is an evangelical leader that doesn't have that great of a following. And if they had done probably a greater degree of vetting, that they probably realized that this was an endorsement that was not something, it was something that they were probably going to have to answer for somewhere down the line, like they're doing today.
Kevin,
but I do expect...
Kevin, they didn't try to do it right away. It wasn't a quick decision. He worked for a year to get this endorsement. So what does that say about his judgment, which is what they're always asking about Obama?
Well, you know, I don't think that this has anything to do with. I don't think this is not the type of issue that's going to bring any of John McCain's core judgments into question. This has much more to do, Roy, with the process of endorsements. Some endorsements matter, some of them don't. The fact is, you go after as many as possible when you're building up a primary campaign.
All right, Reed, let me ask you the question that you wanted to talk about before, and that is the media coverage and the comparison of the Wright to Hagee thing. Look, whether it should be equal or not, is it not a fair criticism, a media criticism, to say Wright was everywhere, all the time? Tonight, we've got this story on Hagee and this Hitler comment. You know, I think a couple of other programs have done it, but it's basically being ignored in the mainstream media. Isn't there something wrong with that?
Well, I think, again, I think we're kind of missing the point, and here's why. Barack Obama ran as the post-racial, post-partisan candidate, ushering in this new age of post-racial, post-partisan politics, and it turns out his mentor is a Louis Farrakhan racist. This is not John McCain's best friend or mentor. I agree the comments are outrageous, and they're going to haunt John McCain for quite a while, and yes,
and Barack Obama repudiated his pastor and repudiated Louis Farrakhan in no uncertain terms. John McCain has not done the same thing with Hagee.
But Roy, I think the difference is there was such a close identification with Reverend Wright over 20 years versus Reverend Hagee, who is somebody who is John McCain hardly even knows. I'm probably not trying to. I'm not trying to validate anybody's remarks as much as I'm trying to explain the process by which this has been covered.
There's something different about seeking out an endorsement. Okay, let's even.
Can I just go back to my? Let me go back to my original point. Yeah. The real story here, and again, I'm just coming from an evangelical conservative perspective, the real story here is how awkward and uncomfortable Senator McCain is within this sect of the party. He didn't know any better. There's a lot of evangelicals that he needed to go get their endorsement, that he needed to humble himself,
Dan, that's a great
this was
point.
not the guy.
That's a great point that Reed's making, because McCain's whole brand is that he's a straight shooter. But we see that what he did is he was against the agents of intolerance, but the new John McCain went and kissed the ring of Jerry Falwell and Pat Robertson and went searching for Hagee so he could prove his bona fides to the right. It shows that he's playing a false game, that he's not the straight shooter that he's trying to show that he is.
He's been very, very aggressive in knocking down and repudiating, and doing it very quickly, knocking down and repudiating these remarks by Hagee.
Roy, are we expecting more comments from Hagee to emerge?
Oh, there's no question. I mean, there's a book where he's got things. You watch sexism from the last segment. He compared unfavorably a woman with PMS to a terrorist. He said the difference is you can negotiate with a terrorist. Yeah, there's a lot more of this coming, Dan.
Go ahead,
let me chime in here. Of course, there's going to be a lot more of it. On the Republican side, there are thousands of pastors that endorse. Yes, he sought his endorsement. Yes, it's going to cause headaches. The problem is this isn't John McCain's personal mentor and friend of 20 years, and I don't think that this really speaks to John McCain's judgment, other than he's not very comfortable and he's not very knowledgeable of the evangelical
Reed,
world.
Final question here politically, all right? John McCain still wants all those people who Hagee's talking to, all right? So as a political matter, I mean, is this stuff awful enough that finally McCain is going to have to say something more, which is, I don't want his endorsement? I mean, this is the same guy who's criticizing Barack Obama over the Hamas endorsement, which Obama has said he doesn't want. Doesn't McCain have to come out and say, I don't want his endorsement?
Yeah, I think he, one, uses Ronald Reagan's quote that just, someone endorses me doesn't mean I endorse them. He's going to have to reject everything he says. But more importantly, he's going to have to, he can't try to be one of the evangelicals and try to be so friendly with them because he's not one of them. He's going to have to just talk about topics that they're interested in and not try to pretend that he's one of them, which I think has gotten him in trouble as he's...
No, I was just going to say, it's been a very interesting thought, Reed. Thank you very much for coming on the program. Appreciate your insights.
Thanks for having me.
And as always, Roy and Kevin, appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan.